Hello viewers and welcome to part 28 of the Dwarf Fortress collaborative series. My name is Pew Pew Choo Choo and today we will be starting to play the third year of the Braided Bolt. I've actually put out episode 27 already, which is a tour of the fortress using Stone Sense and the fortress's goals of year 3. So if you would like to just kind of get an overview of the fortress already, because we are going to jump into the action today, please watch that video. So the first objective on our list of many is the expansion and the full utilization of the forges present inside the fortress. Das has left me with a little complement of 2 smelters, 2 metalsmith forges, and a wood furnace, and this is what we're going to start our production of metalworks with. So few issues arise with this in the areas of fuel use. How you build metal goods is that you require fuel, and then you require ore, and then metal bars. So how that works is that you need fuel, which comes from the form of either magma, charcoal, which is coming from wood, or coal, which is coming from bituminous coal or lignite, and you essentially refine that using either a wood furnace or a smelter into fuel, and then with the fuel you then use that fuel to refine the ore using a smelter, and then you get the metal bar and then another unit of fuel, and you put that into a metalsmith's forge to finally produce a item. So fuel is very crucial in that in order to use 1 metal bar you need 2 units of fuel, and with that said, we do want to find a sustainable source of wood from. And the problem with wood is that you typically gain it where the problem with wood furnace operations producing charcoal is that charcoal works on a 1-to-1 ratio, and what I mean by that is that you need to cut down 1 tree to produce 1 unit of logs to produce 1 unit of charcoal, which then produces half of a metal good, which is rather inefficient. If you use magma, or in the case of using magma, you essentially have unlimited magma, so that's fine. But if you use bituminous coal or lignite, you gain 5 units at the very least of fuel per 1 unit of stuff that you put in, making those a little more efficient in boosting up your metalwork economy. But I did some checking on the map, and unfortunately we actually don't have any resources in accessible magma, as in magma that isn't a pain in the butt to get up here, and fuel in the form of bituminous coal and lignite. So we do have to solve this fuel issue, and what we're going to do to solve this is that we're going to use a 2-step process, in that we're going to be building a few wooden we're going to be building a tree farm, and we're also going to be building a well to solve this problem of fuel shortages. So to start off things, what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to come over here and I'm going to build a few different things. I think Dast has left me with a nice little stock of fuel, so we're going to produce some wooden picks and some wooden some picks and battle axes for the purposes of making carpenters and carpenters and miners. That's it. So we're going to do that, and in addition to that, we're also going to produce some rock mechanisms. And watching so far, I don't believe anybody has actually built any wheelbarrows to speed the logistical side of things up. So we're actually going to be building about 10 wooden wheelbarrows as well. So production will kind of start, and during this time we can then kind of re-equip our dwarves to do their jobs. And what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to pull up the Dwarf Therapist tool, which I believe most people have already seen, and this is a tool that we can use to examine our dwarves' positions inside the fortress and to assign them other tasks and whatnot. So what we're going to convert some of our dwarves into, namely these fishermen dwarves, into people who are going to be a little more useful, in that we're going to convert them into people who make mechanisms, people who harvest wood, and people who do the smelting, or not the smelting, but the I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, we're going to reconvert them into the three primary things of mining, carpentry, and mechanisms. So we're going to do that. And now some people are going to be like, oh no, but now you don't have any fish to eat. The problem with fishing is that near year 3 and as you go up in the years, sieges become more apparent, sieges become closer, and goblins will actually send mini sieges called ambushes out into the world to hunt you down. And by cutting down on... Why is this guy still fishing? Anyhow, by cutting down on fishermen and stuff like that, we just kind of marginalize the amount of damage these ambushers can do. And with that said, we make the fortress a lot more stable, because you can have some tantrum spirals where one dwarf dies, and then one dwarf, which may have been his best friend, goes into a rage and then kills another dwarf, and another dwarf panics, and then yeah, it just chains up like that. So in order to stop that process, we're just going to marginalize the things and just say no going outside unless you're doing some very, very vital tasks. So that's kind of that. And when I played this game back in 2009, what happened was that there was a sort of like a coding problem or something like that made carp a type of fish particularly powerful. So your fishermen dwarfs had very, very short lives, in that they were always getting killed by fish. So that's kind of that, and I'm going to be doing some mining on this level here, and you'll see that the dwarves are using those wheelbarrows to quickly cart around stone, making like things just a lot more easier. And my reason for doing some of this mining is that I want to find more stone so then we can make mechanisms with, and we also want to find more iron to in the form of magnetite to play around with, and magnetite's all of that gray stuff right there. So we'll get started with that, and then the people conditioned to those jobs will start doing their tasks, and then we can worry about other things now. Read the dwarves here and see what we can do. Yeah, I think we're all set up inside the core industries now. And we will just start, we'll get the dwarves to do that. And some people might ask, why am I digging so close to the fortress on this particular layer? Well, the game does quite a good job in generating the world so that the world has like different layers of soil and different rocks, just like in real life. And the reason we're digging so close to the lower levels of the fortress is because this mudstone. These are mudstone walls, the reddish colored stuff right here. Mudstone is in the sedimentary layer of the ground, and the sedimentary layer is typically the most valuable in that it has the chance to contain bituminous coal, lignite, and your key component iron comes from either, I believe, magnetite or hematite, and those two things are in abundance inside the sedimentary layers. So that's kind of why we're having our miners set up right here in this layer, kind of in the middle of our fortress. Simply because the stuff here is just so valuable that the benefits really outweigh the costs here. So we're going to start mining over there. Now we should have enough stone to resume production of crafts and mechanisms now, and I'm actually going to be building an entire section of floodgates. So we'll get started on that too. And the reason that we're going to be doing that is that we need to build a tree farm. And how tree farms work is that as soon as you hit the underground caves, which we have right here, once you hit the caves, the game will start thinking that all of the underground soil layers, anything with a pile of mud or a soil underneath a inside dark subterranean layer will be considered a cavern tile, and then under these cavern tiles what will happen is that these tiles will start producing some of these things called tower caps, and these are essentially giant mushrooms that you'll see here that on the bottom panel, if I hover over them, it'll say that they're trees when in reality they are fungal wood or tower caps in other words. And Yeah, you can see that if you go one up, one more level, it does the tree thing too. So with that said, you can actually use them as trees, and because we can actually use them as trees, we can then make tree farms with them, just simply by making places that are irrigated and ready to just kind of be used to be left to idle, pretty much. So that's kind of what we're aiming for there. I'm going to check the positioning of this area right here. And what I think I'll do is this. This area, I want to make the fountain area a little well for our dwarves. That's one of the things that that we want to do. More or less because in the event that we run out of booze, we can use the fountain to refresh our supplies. So we're going to make a sub room right here. And inside the subroom, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to come all the way up here. I'm going to use the channeling ability. And I'm actually going to designate a little span of places to be channeled like that. So that should get us underground right here. And right here, we can then put a downward stairway. And then an upward stairway. Up-down stairway, actually. Or no, what we're going to do is that we're essentially going to make a little system of ups and downs, which will be able to get water into the underground portions. And the reason I'm making this a little curvy is that I want to make it so that not too much water comes down and not too much water stays down there. So that's kind of why we're doing some of this redundancy stuff right here. And that should gradually make it so that the water only comes down very slowly. And there we go. So that will actually open up this tile. And what we can do here is that instead of doing this, so water will come through here, and there will be a hole inside the ground right there. Or actually, here to make this a little simpler, it's going to go down here. It's going to go up, and then it's going to go down right here. Or no, I think what we'll do is we'll get the tile here to be mined so that we'll do something like this. We have two nice areas here where we can get the water to fall down in. So what I want to do is that I want to do a downward stairway. I want to put these inside the corner locations. I want to make it so that the water can fall down into the well rather than it being just kind of there, because mist produces quite a big benefit, happiness mood modifier for your dwarves. So what I want to do is I want the water to just kind of come through this area, nicely section off, and then as it reaches here, it's going to pour into these two downward stairways, which is going to then fall into this area. And what that is going to do is that is hopefully going to provide our dwarves with a nice positive thought, which will help them out if they so choose to chill inside this area. And in the meantime, we should be producing a lot of mechanisms. I'm going to build a little reserve room like that, and then we're going to build downward stairways, and then upward stairways. So there we go. That should set up that little bit. Okay, and what about the other stuff? So we're producing some floodgates now, so that is very, very good. And we have ample stone now, so that is really good too. I think I think I wanted to channel out these areas too, so we will. There we go, perfect. So now, as things get more and more, as more and more of these areas are starting to get built, the more stuff that we can just kind of put in place now. So as soon as we open up these two areas, then we have two holes here, which then we can use to fill up the bottom level, right here. And what I want to do here is that I want to build a tree farm. So what we're going to do is that we're going to section off large areas of land. And we want the tree farm to be multi-level, so then we get the full benefit of actually irrigating all of this land. So that's kind of what we're doing here. And as we do that, we definitely get more stone that we can use here. And my thinking for this is that it's not going to be much of a safety concern, simply because we have the fact that we can kind of trust in the fact that because we have this this setup here, as soon as we flood the upper levels here, this essentially makes a barrier for invaders who are obviously not amphibian. So I don't think it'll be much of a defense issue either. So that is very, very good. And let's see, are we still producing goods and easy meals? Yes, we are. So perfect, our fortress is going along fairly nicely. I think it's time to build a few more wooden bins, because we are going to need a lot of bins to store stuff in. Now, I feel like oh no, migrant wave. Yeah, we're going to get a lot of migrants, so as they come along here, we're going to have to check them for signs of vampirism or other conditions, and what the hell these people do. Now, oh yes, we'd get a mechanic, that is nice. No, I think Das said that like the fortress count inside year 2 jumped up from like 15 to what it is now. So yeah, it's I'm not very happy in seeing this long line of people. So there we go. Have a peasant, 2 more woods, fishery workers, a spinner. What else do we have here? Let's see, metalsmith, that might be useful. Woodworker, fairly useful. Planter, not as useful. We have a lot of rangers this time. We have 3 rangers coming through. 4 rangers, I guess. Herbalist. So, with those rangers, we should be able to make another military squad out of, actually. So that's going to be kind of cool. Some more farmers over here. And just in time for a pack of elephants to show up behind them. Okay, so lots of stuff going on there. Gonna let our dwarves just kind of work down here for a little bit of time. I don't want to seal any doors in, which is the main issue. So with that kind of said, somebody has grown attached to a wooden crossbow apparently, but I don't want to kind of rush things inside this area. I think what we'll do is I will smooth the stone of the outer walls here, if we can. No, apparently we can't smooth these walls just yet, so well. We don't need to smooth them, oh well. Ooh, a forgotten... Yeah, it looks like, yeah, inside these cave-ins you can have forgotten mega beasts kind of lying down here. I think in the Stone Sense video we actually found a olm lying down here inside the water, but it looks like we have another forgotten mega beast here. A huge eyeless mite has been spawned. It has 4 long curving horns and is slavering. It has a clear exoskeleton, and it looks like it spews out poisonous gas. And it looks like currently we can only see so much of the cave simply because we haven't explored down here. But it looks like this guy has been wandering around inside the places that we haven't seen. So we found him, and it looks like he's lurking about. So what we'll do here is I will actually come up, and I do believe Das has put up some doors to the underground areas over here, and we'll just lock both of these. The thing, I think it said it could fly. I don't remember, but just in a precaution, because we do have that second level in those caverns where we have some fortifications or something like that, and I don't want to risk the chance of those things flying up here. So we're going to seal that area off. Still doing quite a lot of mining and stuff down here. This area is going to be flooded soon, so it's no big deal. There we go. Now our underground tree farm is starting to get built, and I think I'll get this to do a few more levels before it stops. But how this tree farm is essentially going to work is that for quite some time, water is just going to be falling down and the water is just going to kind of go into this area right here, which is going to be the well. And as it drains into the wells as lower levels, what I hope to do is that as the water gets down here, it's going to go into the tree farm levels down here, and then eventually it's going to drain into a reservoir somewhere around the bottom of the tree farm. So then we're going to have this multi-level thing set up here. It's going to be quite neat, and I think you'll agree with me. Now, while that is underway, I do believe we're producing quite a lot of rock mechanisms now, using the byproduct of all the stone that we're building. So now we can actually get building some traps. And what I want to do with the traps here is that I want to start assembling essentially buffer zones, so that in the invasion of a preemptive siege, we have lines of traps waiting for the enemy. And I want to just really spam these traps everywhere, so we're going to be building quite an elaborate setup of stone traps to kind of defend our fortress with. The problem with these fortresses using one central grand staircase is that they're rather vulnerable, in that if the main staircase is compromised, you're going to have to do a lot of stuff to defend your ground. And with that said, it does make for a very rather inefficient defense plan, but that's what I think I'll do, is that I'll spend whatever mechanisms that we currently have into building defensive works like that. And yeah, so that'll kind of continue forth. So there we go. 2 levels of this area completed. So that is very, very good. Let's go downwards 2 more steps, and then upwards 2 more steps. And we're gonna build another level of the tree farm down here. And now this tree farm needs to be quite big, so we are really going to stack up how many levels that we have down here. So as soon as this group of areas is complete, we're going to dig downward some more, and we're going to build another layer on just right above that. So we'll go from here, and we'll go back around. Place down that block, downward stairway, round again, and then mine out this area once more. And I think that'll give us ample amounts of growing room for now. We can definitely improve it later on, so it's no big deal if we don't finish that place to start off with. Now, there doesn't seem to be anybody inside these tunnels up here, so what I think I'll do is that I'll actually build up a floodgate right now. And I'll just place that right here. Have 8 floodgates, so we have definitely a lot to put down. And build floodgates, build flood... And we'll build 2 more down here. Or rather, no, we're going to build going to clear that floodgate out. And what I'm going to do is that, oh, Kobold Thief has appeared outside here, and it looks like it actually killed off one of our animals. So that's kind of odd, and yeah, those Kobold Thieves will come over here. Apparently, our drink lust stockpiles are low, but we have plenty, so I'm not too worried about that. So for this fountain, for this little well thing, what I think I'll do here is that we have a slight problem in that I do believe fluids can flow. Yeah, fluids can flow diagonally, so I do want to cordon off the area into the tree farm. So I think I'll do that. I had originally wanted to make this this area like, you know, the fountain would be here or something, where the well would be here or something, and then go down here, just for kind of effect. But yeah, I have a feeling it'll be better if we put down these walls. No big deal. So that'll seal up that area, and as our guys work down inside the mines here, we'll start to have all of these layers set up. And once all of these layers are set up, what we can then do is we'll put some stairways here. So we'll put downward stairways, and then we'll put some upward stairways on the second level here. And then here we can then make a little reservoir of sorts that we can then tap in for later use, and then we can just do a little connector like that, which is going to give us a nice little area to get our wood from. Oh, an elven caravan has arrived, so that is yeah, that's the elves. They're gonna come here now. And the elves will do their elven things, I suppose. So now, we can link things up as we go along here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to grab the central lever here, and I'm going to actually link it to a floodgate, and I'm going to link it to this one right here with some mudstone mechanisms. And then we'll have essentially like a lever to control the well inside the dining hall, which will be kind of cool. And our doors are doing their own thing, producing a ton of goods here. I think I'll actually stop crafts production for now, seeing as how we probably have plenty by now. And I'm not going to trade with the elves right now, simply because they typically don't have very much to trade, with the exception of food and some very miscellaneous. Oh, siege time. So, siege time. We have goblins coming at us right now. Currently we have like a few defenses set up, not too many though. So we'll see how this goes. These things should really be built right now. But what we can do here is that we can remove the drawbridge. Somebody's gonna do that. Yeah, that's gonna collapse the drawbridge. Get that down. Yeah, that's going to... oh no. Oh, I see. Das has or whoever built this drawbridge built it as a retractable one. So we're not a retractable one, but as a drawbridge that actually opens up to enclose areas. I see. So we have the merchant caravan over here. That's going to offer us limited protection. But right now, ad hoc thinking, build a wall. Yeah, because I kind of expected that drawbridge to be like an actual draw